It does not matter if you think her coffee is trash garbage. Her marketing campaign is genius. And behind every good marketing campaign is the use of psychology, influencing our brains and our decision making, usually to influence us to buy more of that thing. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about Emma Chamberlain and her coffee company, Chamberlain Coffee. We're going to talk about how her minimalistic marketing was so brilliant psychologically and has influenced us to purchase more of her product, which has thus skyrocketed her company. But before we dive in deep, I should probably introduce myself. Hi, my name's Erin. I'm a licensed therapist and I love analyzing all things pop culture. I always introduce what I'm drinking. Ironically, missed opportunity, I am not drinking Chamberlain coffee today. I have made myself a lovely latte and that's what I'm enjoying today. So grab a drink, cheers, let's dive in. As I already mentioned, we are diving deep into Chamberlain Coffee, a company that hit the market in 2020. They have absolutely established themselves as a successful company, despite the fact that her coffee leaves a lot of people desiring something more. But it is her branding through and through that has established her company as a successful company. Emma Chamberlain is not just a YouTuber, she's an absolute business mogul. Her company was said to have revenue around $20 million in 2024, which is insane for her company only being 4 years old. And on top of that, they have moved from being in 500 stores to over 10,000 stores. And they went into huge brand name stores too, like Target, Whole Foods, Walmart, stores along that caliber. A recently leaked pitch deck actually revealed that Chamberlain Coffee is projected to increase its revenue by 50% in 2025, meaning they're expecting to take in about $33 million this year, which is an insane amount of money. And yes, some of this is due to Emma Chamberlain herself and her influence and the absolute company that she's already built of herself and her name. But if her branding was not on point, I really think this one would have 100% flopped. A great example of a huge company flopping despite somebody's influence is Blake Lively. Her company, Blake Brown Beauty, which is set to sell hair products, absolutely flopped in the marketing campaign. I think it was actually really smart that they used all of the products in It Ends With Us, because that would have been a great way to portray how the products work, day to day. However, once Blake went live to all of her press interviews and started talking about her hairline instead of the movie, it was so tone deaf and so out of touch with what the movie was actually about. It absolutely flopped her product. Her sales projected went down 56 to 78% in Target. But those numbers are according to her lawyer, so who even knows how true that actually is? Regardless, all I know is that you can find all of her hair care products in the clearance aisle 6 months after it launched. You know what you won't find in the clearance aisle? Emma Chamberlain's coffee. Emma Chamberlain's marketing is genius because of how minimalistic it is. It is so simple and so brilliant. And part of the reason that we get influenced by minimalism is the paradox of minimalism. The paradox of minimalism says that less is actually more. So we associate a lot of luxury brands with minimalism because what it portrays is that more time and intention went into something. It's laser focused. It's so simple. They must have spent a lot of time thinking or curating this product. Chamberlain Coffee absolutely benefits from this perception. The clean aesthetic and the influencer-driven market really drives home the idea that you're getting something premium, even though her coffee itself might not differ much from what's already on the market. Because we associate minimalism with things like quality and exclusivity, we think we are getting something really high-end, even though the marketing is incredibly simple. There's actually a subsect of this that I had not heard of, but it makes so much sense. It's called quiet luxury. And it's this idea that sophistication and wealth don't have to be flashy. And quiet luxury brands do super well because they don't scream wealth. They really whisper curated taste. And minimalism offers a level of exclusivity that we want to buy into. And Emma Chamberlain does a phenomenal job of this. She is really adamant about building a community that you already want to be a part of, but also her minimalistic taste really gives this idea of curation and exclusivity and quiet luxury that you want to buy into. You want to present yourself as somebody that has taste without, banging somebody over the head with that idea. Another way that we're influenced by minimalistic marketing is by its influence in reducing our cognitive load, which essentially means that it just makes the decision buying process easier and less stressful for our brains. When packaging is clean and visually uncluttered, it makes it easier on our brains to process, which makes the product feel more desirable or premium. By stripping away distractions, minimalistic branding really portrays this idea of a trustworthy or sophisticated product. And the marketing then in turn says, we have a great product and we know it and we don't need to be loud to show it. And this is exactly what Chamberlain Coffee does. Not only does minimalistic marketing reduce our cognitive load, which makes decision-making processes easier, it also hits on a point that many of us struggle with, which is stress. Cluttered environments promote a sense of angst and stress, while clean, minimalistic environments express a feeling of calm and focus. The same exact thing goes for marketing. Simple and clean designs create a soothing and organized feeling, which makes us more likely to engage with the product because we remember those feelings as we were looking and shopping with that product. That emotional response of feeling soothed and organized makes us more likely to remember and even trust the product. And I am far more likely to purchase something that I remember and trust. And I think that we as a younger generation are really drawn to this minimalistic concept. If you're around my age, then you know what I'm talking about when I talk about those maximalist houses that we grew up in or that our grandparents had. Emma Chamberlain plays on this concept so well, and she knows her audience so well. She knows that us as a younger generation want something simplistic, intentionally curated, that wasn't created just to be a cash cow. We care a lot about where our products come from and how they're made. She also does a great job of building a brand of minimalism through building identity, and we are far more likely to buy something that we identify with. So her minimalistic branding of having little animal mascots is genius, because then you pick the mascot that you feel most alike. Maybe you're an early bird, so you get the early bird blend, or maybe you're a lazy sloth, so you get that blend. Whatever it is, there's a piece of identity building in it that makes us feel connected to the brand personally beyond just our love for Emma Chamberlain. And she makes it so simple and easy to do. It's really brilliant. The last thing that her marketing does is play on Gen Z. And she is brilliant for doing this, because if you can get a Gen Z generation to back your product will do phenomenal. Gen Z has grown up on phones. They are the technology generation. We all know this. And because of this, they have grown up with things being curated. They are used to a life of curation and perfection. So in her creating an incredibly intentional and curated product, she is hitting on the mind of millions of Gen Zers and immediately connecting with them in that way. Gen Z often sees their lives as an extension of their personal brand, where every purchase helps support their aesthetic identity. Curated and minimalistic items often feel intentional and stylish, which makes them perfect for social media because they're always on social media. And Emma Chamberlain's company isn't commercialized. It really feels like something a friend would recommend. Gen Z doesn't want commercial products. They want aesthetic cohesion that tells a story about who they are. This is why brands that offer a curated and minimalistic look like Chamberlain Coffee do so well. The younger generation and Gen Z is so used to curation that they're immediately comforted by it. So if a product is really curated and intentional, they are going to feel very invested in it, and it's going to be very appealing to them. In my opinion, this is why everything that has strawberries on it and mushrooms took off like nobody's business. I never really fully understood it, but I just think it's the full curation of the moment. Understanding how branding influences us helps us to become smarter consumers. Do we actually care about the quality of this product and are invested in this product, or is it just that it's aesthetically pleasing and I like to look at it? Regardless, Emma Chamberlain's company, Chamberlain Coffee, is undeniably brilliant in their branding, but understanding how we can be influenced really helps us to be intentional in our purchasing decisions. Minimalistic branding is powerful, and Chamberlain Coffee is the perfect case study for how we are influenced by it and how powerful her company has become from it. What do you think about Emma Chamberlain's product? Are you more likely to buy it because of the branding? Do you even like her product? Leave a comment, let's discuss. I am so appreciative for any interaction with this video, whether it's a like, comment, a sub, whatever it is. I'm so grateful, and I can't wait to keep growing my channel. So if you liked this, you would probably really like my other videos too. Go give my channel a look, and I will see you all soon.